Family feuds. We all know all about it. Well, remember William Shakespeare's play Romeo and Juliet, where the Capulet family and the Montague families were at loggerheads because of the love of their children, respectively. Well, in the automotive space, Mercedes and BMW have always been at loggerheads. We've got today the AMG Brigade and the M Brigade. So, which cars do you actually buy if you have a family, you want space, but want something completely and utterly rapid?
This is the all-new GLC 63 SE Performance, the big booted sibling to the C63. The big news here is that that V8 engine is gone. And by gone, I mean this too is powered by the same notorious 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. I mean, it loses that V8 and, I mean, its name is also quite a mouthful. GLC 63 SE Performance. What a long name, man. So out of all the four cars that we have here, this is the only SUV. We've got the M5 Executive Saloon. We've got the M3 Touring for those that need more space. You also have this twin, the C63 SE Performance. And I mean, you look at it, you're thinking, because it's an SUV, it might be boring. No, you're wrong. This is also as exciting as all of them. And the most expensive. Most performance sedans normally have their SUV alternatives. Take for instance this GLC 63 SE Performance that I'm testing. It offers supercar performance, and by that I mean it's actually fast. You get 500 kilowatts and 1020 Newton meters of torque. And you may be asking yourself, what the heck is so much power doing in a family SUV? I tell you what, I also don't know, but this thing is powerful. And not 200 is dispatched in 3.5 seconds. I mean, 3.5 seconds, that's quicker than you can read its entire name. Think of it. This car is a proper drag weapon that is also able to cruise silently in EV mode. So what you just have to do is to flick this button over here to EL mode. So basically you are telling the car that you do not want to become a serial killer of trees because you're not emitting any harmful combustion fumes. So in EV mode, just relax.
Meet the Wavemaker. And much like Nsako's GLC behind me, its name is quite the mouthful. It's the Mercedes-Benz AMG C63 SE Performance F1 Edition. And I know what you're thinking. F1 Edition, it must be a performance package. It must be faster and it must be better in the corners. But you'd be wrong. It's an aesthetic package. It comes with a new front splitter, rear diffuser, rear wing, these red touches, a stunning alpine grey paintwork, and a few interior trim touches too. But it's not cheap, as this package will set you back 300k. Under the hood of this beast is one of my favorite 4-cylinders, and I know that pisses you guys off a lot, but it's the M139, and as far as 4-cylinders go, this is the most powerful production engine you can get. It produces 350 kilowatts, and then with its hybrid assistance, it can get to 500 kilowatts. So being a plug-in hybrid, there is an element of electric power, and that's sent to the rear wheels, and it's got a 2-speed. I know, an electric car with a gearbox. Anyways, the only problem is, unlike a petrol engine, you can't really predict when it's going to shift. So you can be burying your throttle about 120 k's an hour, and then all of a sudden it cuts power. And then it comes back a second later. And for me, it kind of kills the feel. But I know you guys, and I know you guys like numbers, so let's rattle a couple off quickly. It's got 500 kilowatts, 1,020 Newton meters, and a 0 to 100 time in 3.4 seconds. I know what you're thinking. That's supercar numbers. But this is better than supercar because you can fit your family in the back, you can fit stuff in the boot, and it's a 2-liter. But also a trend that we've seen with modern Mercedes is they're incredibly clinical, specifically in the corners, which is weird because traditionally the C63s were rear-wheel drive Larry monsters, the ones that just stuck their back ends out at any opportunity they had. But this is different. This is planted, and that's mostly to do with its rear-wheel steering. When you turn in, it does feel like you're sliding, but it's just those wheels getting out there to make sure that the most amount of load can be absorbed before traction's broken. And I must tell you, it handles like a beast. And I hate to say it because they aren't supposed to have this much grip, but it just inspires so much confidence in the corners. It feels wrong, but at the same time, it is so damn impressive. But it's not cheap. This one, the F1 edition, comes in just shy of 2.8 million rand, which makes it more expensive than an M5, but it remains an M3 competitor. Now, to me, that doesn't really make sense.
So hello to the BMW M3. It looks like an M3, it drives like an M3. It's bright orange, so it screams. It's got 390 kilowatts and 650 Newton meters of torque, and it's the only car here that is non-hybrid assisted. But the big difference here is it's the first ever BMW M3 Touring, which means you can go to the racetrack and you can take your tires with you. So, for M3 Touring, remember I said it can be driven like an M3? It really can. It is incredibly quick, it's visceral, and despite not being the most powerful car here, in fact it's the least powerful car here, it is relentless. So, purists, you may hate the fact that BMW included X-Drive in this car. Let me tell you, they actually fixed the M3 with X-Drive. With just rear-wheel drive, it's too unstable. I don't have as much confidence in it. And with X-Drive, it's just planted, it's true, it's stable, and you can just have so much more fun. You can really push the envelope of this car. It is sadly outgunned in terms of power by its fellow competitors. But it's the way it delivers the power. I'm sorry, you can't get better with this. I mean, the sound, what hybrid can match that? The best thing about this car is that it symbolizes a bit of a rebellious streak from BMW. A sort of middle finger to conformity, which is hybrids and electrification. And while I do like electrification, I'm not too keen on the idea of hybridizing a car, calling it an eco-friendly car, and then that's that. This is it. This is the magic. True, straight and inline 6-cylinder motor. No assistance whatsoever. Everything you feel is purely mechanical. All powered by 95. And for that, I absolutely adore this car.
And welcome to the patriarch of the M brand. This is the 7th generation BMW M5. And I'm sure you heard all the stories. Oh, but it's big. Oh, but it's fat. But it's heavy. Yeah, sure, it is heavy. 500 kilos to be more precise. Heavier than the outgoing F90. But it's also got a lot more power. 535 kilowatts and 1,000 Newton meters. Big numbers, but yeah, how does that translate on the road? Finally, we've got our hands on the new M5. We've spent a couple of days with it. We've done a bit of long distance driving. I can tell you now, it's probably the most comfortable M5 I've ever driven. So tick box there. Yes, it's brutal, but we'll get to that. So what really intrigued me about this new M5, look, I know the weight is an issue. It weighs 500 kilos more than outgoing F90. And obviously it's because of the batteries in the hybrid system. But BMW has managed to just mask the weight of the car. Yes, you can still feel quite heavy under braking, speed bumps. Really, the car just jiggles about, and the suspension is just doing its work. That's when you actually feel it. But for me, it's really the efficiency of this car. I drove it in Mpumalanga, 11.1 liters per 100. Try that in any other M5 before that, it's not gonna happen. But you don't buy an M5 for efficiency. It's good, nice to know that you have it. So, what's under the bonnet? BMW has still maintained the 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo, and obviously it's got the hybrid system now. Total system output, 535 kilowatts and 1,000 Newton meters. 535 is a lot, but the trick with this car is the torque, guys. 1,000 Newton meters, it doesn't matter where you are in the rev band. You put your foot down, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear, the car just picks up speed like you don't believe. It's the most rapid M5 I've ever driven, and I've driven all generations from the E28, brilliant car, right up to this G90. And guys, I can tell you now, this car is rapid. What do I think about the styling? Having lived with the car a couple of days, you get used to it. I still think the rear is a little bit too busy for my liking, but guys, this Isle of Man green color, it just really stands out. We've been getting quite a lot of compliments from motorists and bystanders and all. People really love the way this car looks. So tick there, BMW. The interior, guys, for the longest time, BMW's interiors were questionable at best, but I'm really happy to report that you don't have to worry. They've really cleaned it up. It feels more premium now. I mean, this car just looks expensive. Well done on that BMW, just getting the quality of the interiors back up. Pricing. Yeah, pricing. 2.69 million rand, guys. That for me is incredible. And to bring that into perspective, the GLC C63 AMG, it costs more than this car. So how do they do it? How did BMW manage to price this car so well? So that's another tick, guys. I think BMW has nailed it with this new M5. People can critique it as much as that. We've driven it. We're the first ones to get our hands on it. And no, BMW M has nailed it again, guys. Brilliant, brilliant car. And that, folks, concludes our week of speed, power, performance, laughs, and just great excitement. This is the 7th generation of the BMW M5. It's the most powerful and the first hybrid M5. That thing is an absolute brute, and I think it's probably one of the most misunderstood cars to launch in 2024 outside of the C63. This car is very familiar with all our followers, but this is an F1 edition. You can see with the red piping. And arguably the most favorite 63 SE in the team, the GLC 63. This car is fantastic. Great package, very playful, and probably with less controversy than a C63 sibling. And then, first of its kind, the BMW M3 Touring. We love wagons at TopGear, and we're quite chuffed to finally see an M3 Touring on our roads. So, what do we think of these cars? This is not a shootout per se, but we just wanted to showcase what you could get for under 3 bar. You want space, these cars tick. You want performance, these cars tick. You want sporty looks, these cars tick the box. But which one would the team really want parked in their garage? Well, for that answer, you'll have to wait for our December edition of Top Gear Magazine South Africa, where we'll tell you which is the favorite of the team. So let me leave you with this anecdote. Straight lines are for fast cars, but corners are for fast drivers. Do that as you will with that information. But from me, until the next one, it's cheers.